these are all the support champions that I could think of, like traditional supports, and then there's a lot of off-meta supports. I know there's a lot of information going on, but just pay attention. Does your champion benefit from new runes? Yes or no? If it's no, I'm not going to talk about this specific champion. For example, Lulu, I'm not going to talk about Lulu runes in this video because I don't think Lulu benefits at all from the changes, but the rest I'm going to talk about, right? I'm going to talk about Renata, for example. Seraphine is going to be in this video. You can find every single support champion that you are curious about in the chapters from this video. And yeah, we have a lot of work to do, so let's go for it. Before starting, let's talk about the new 4 runes of this season. First rune, we have Axiom Arcanist, which replaced Nullifying Orb in the sorcery tree and is just going to amplify the damage, healing and shielding of your ultimate by 14%. The damage is reduced if it's an area effect, and also getting a kill or assist, it will reduce the cooldown of your ultimate. The last 3 are going to be in the same row in the domination tree, and it's Deep Ward, Grisly Mementos, and Sixth Sense. Deep Ward is going to make every single ward you put on enemy jungle stay longer, and then at level 11 is going to do the same but in the river as well. Grisly Mementos, every takedown is going to give you trinket haste, so your sweeper and normal trinket are going to have less cooldown. And then last, Sixth Sense is going to spot, like Amber Glaive, the wards that you don't see, so it will indicate this is warded but has a very big cooldown, 5 minutes for melees and 6 minutes for range. And also after level 11 it will reveal them so you can clear the ward. Let's go with Soraka runes. Let's start with Soraka. So this would be the setup for Soraka in season 15. What changes is that now you are going to choose Deep Ward with the Guardian setup. Deep Ward is the strongest rune so far right now for supports at the start of the season, so start abusing that. And attack speed, move speed and flat health, you could go scaling health if, for example, you have like a chill lane or there's not going to be too much action. Attack speed is going to be super important with supports now because of Deep Ward. For HP ward, you want to be clearing fast, you don't want to spend sweeper and just clear one ward, it's going to take forever. So the second setup you could do is go for the Aerie. Aerie normally is done with Nimbus Cloak, Transcendent Scorch, and then you could even go double adaptive if you want, but in my opinion Soraka, you can mix it a bit up with more utility. And Nimbus Cloak or Axiom Arcanist. Axiom Arcanist, I'm not a fan of it. People say that it is looking strong, but for me, Nimbus Cloak for Soraka would be the best option because you want that survivability. In my opinion, the Guardian plus Domination tree is going to be such a strong rune setup for supports, so I would recommend that one for Soraka right now. Moving on, we have Janna, and there is a problem with Janna in the sorcery tree is that mana flow is just too strong with Janna. I don't want to choose Axiom Arcanist when I need this mana flow, especially with lane starting to hit those Ws, and then you want to use your move speed to roam. That's why we have Celerity, the move speed in the runes as well. You could go attack speed and CDR as well, it's totally fine. And you can also choose Aerie or Comet, that's also fine. But for the new runes, Axiom Arcanist I would not recommend with Janna, especially because the mana flow, you benefit a lot from it, right? A lot of champions, enchanters will benefit a lot from mana flow, so you need to be very careful about this. Alright, for Domination tree, I would always recommend Relentless Hunters with Janna. I mean, you are going to roam, it's all about, that's the kit of Janna, right? Roaming and making plays in the other side of the map as well, not only in bot lane. And then from here, Deep Ward, right? Deep Ward, such a strong rune. You could go Grisly Mementos as well if you feel like you probably will not go into enemy jungle that much, but with the move speed and the roaming potential, you can make a proactive play in mid lane, a proactive play in top lane, a proactive play like in Void Grabs when you are moving, and then you can drop some deep vision. Recently I made a video about the 10 biggest mistakes every support does, and deep warding was one of them, so I recommend you guys check that out as well if you want to know what I mean. You could go also chip shot instead of one of the runes. That's why I said it's not like a good change, it's just a minor change, so it doesn't change that much in the runes. But I will, if I was you guys, I would try Deep Ward a bit more and see how it goes. Let's go with the Seraphine runes. Arcane Comet, pretty standard, mana flow, Transcendent Scorch, double adaptive and flat health. And now you can go a secondary, the precision one with presence of mind and haste. This is super good one now that the cookies got really nerfed for enchanters because it doesn't give mana back. You could also decide to choose Resolve as secondary, but I would choose Resolve as secondary if I'm playing against a difficult lane. But for that, I have another solution for you. If not, like Cosmic Insight and Magical Boots is very good to rush the first item and still get a very fast power spike. Now, there is some debate about, like, let's play Axiom Arcanist. It can be fine, but for me, in my opinion, the damage doesn't feel that great. So I will always choose Mana Flow Band or Nimbus Cloak. I think Seraphine kinda needs Mana Flow Band. And the same thing as Soraka. You can choose to go for a Guardian build, which is also fine. You could even go Move Speed and Ability Haste. And then instead of Domination, I don't think you should take Domination with Seraphine. You should like look for Mana Flow, Transcendence, or maybe Scorch, or maybe Gathering Storm. Axiom Arcanist, you guys can try it. That's why I added Seraphine in this list. But in my opinion, she doesn't really benefit from the runes, but it's worth mentioning the two possibilities that she has today in Season 15. Ay, Karma. I made an entire guide about Karma, how to play Karma and every single build and rune setup, so you guys can check that out as well. I think it's still very good for this season. It doesn't change that much. So let's talk about the new runes for Karma. Now, Axiom Arcanist is completely bugged, I think, for her. It only works with the W, it only works with the E, and it doesn't work with the Q. So if you do ultimate Q, it doesn't add more damage. Also, Axiom Arcanist damage right now, it's a bit meh, it's not that great. So I still believe that if you are going heal, Nimbus Cloak is so much better. If you are going for more heavy poke damage build Karma, Mana Flow is really good. You get Presence of Might and Haste. But you can also choose the other three, right? You could go for some Deep Ward, Relentless Hunter, which is also very nice to have with Karma. And it's the same thing. Deep Ward is going to be here for a long time, especially with champions that can push and pressure the lane. Deep Ward is going to be super good because you are going to maintain so much vision in enemy jungle all the time that you can keep pressuring, play for that first tower and still have good vision around you. You can absorb the pressure from enemy jungle, don't get ganked, and gain a lot of it. So Deep Ward is like top tier right now. We are going to see with other champions it might change, but in this case for Karma is going to be either Domination, and if Riot is going to change or fix Axiom Arcanist for Mantra Q of Karma, then we can talk about that as a possible rune for her. For Zilean, I'm not an expert on this champion. I dislike Zilean a lot, but I've seen some Axiom Arcanist, Celerity, Water Walking, like very fast Zilean move speed build with Presence of Mind and Legend Haste. You could also for sure go for Domination. This is normally the setup. You could still go Transcendence and also Scorch, but Water Walking seems like a pretty good rune. Also, Mana Flow Band is actually very good also with Zilean. You just drop the bomb in laning phase. It's still a champion that's very weak, but well, you're getting those farming those mana flows. Nimbus Cloak, I would choose it when you decide to, like, you are on a hard lane to have better survivability. But you guys can try Axiom Arcanist as Domination 3, maybe change Chip Shot for Deep Ward again, as bit as Janna playstyle, and that's it. I don't think there's much to say about Zilean. Let's go now with some engaged champions. Let's do Rell and Leona at the same time. So very standard rune page with attack speed. As I said, like with the changes of Rell passive, she benefits a lot of attack speed right now. I liked before going move speed, but I understand that in solo queue, scaling HP with this type of engaged tanky champions is pretty good with always flat health as the last one. What has changed for Rell and Leona is that you could go Domination second, and of course go for Relentless Hunter or Chip Shot, one of those two, and then you could choose Deep Ward again. So you could get Deep Ward again, but the problem with Deep Ward is that maybe you are on a losing matchup and maybe you cannot use that Deep Ward early on. Maybe you need to get Sweeper level 1 to deny, like for example, a Caitlyn Karma lane that is going to pressure all the time. So Deep Ward is not going to be that efficient till you have your warding item. So what are we going to choose? Or Grizzly Mementos, or we are going to go for Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense right now is a rune that I dislike a lot because the cooldown is so long, but it's very strong early game. So it's very strong early game. So you could use it for like trapping in some bushes or going for some invades and understand if it's warded or not. But normally I would look for a Chip Shot Relentless Hunter. but there is a very good combination right now that is Deep Ward with Glacial. Why is this a good combination? Is because with Cosmic Insight and Deep Ward, you are getting your warding trinket at 2 minutes 58, the second one. So that means that you can keep your warding trinket in bot from minute 130 warded to 10 minutes. And it's only done if you have Inspiration and the Domination, same rune page. So it's very hard to do with mages. We were going to see that as well after. But with enchanters we couldn't because we are going for sorcery so much. But now we can. If you choose Glacial, you can have Deep Ward on enemy jungle forever. When are you going to pick this rune page? And pay attention to this. You are going to pick this rune page when you are playing against low mobility bot lanes and also you are on a winning matchup. Let's say you are playing Draven Rell or Draven Leona, or with Ashe, your AD carry is stronger, enemy AD carry is weaker, so you are going to pressure them a lot. And now you can use Deep Ward to ward instead of on the tribus, deeper on the enemy jungle, and you get more information. This would be the only moment that I would say, okay, Deep Ward is important, is good, and you can get it with Cosmic Insight. You could also choose to go for Grisly Mementos together with Cosmic Insight. This is going to make your sweeper have no cooldown. So in mid game and late game and also in early game, it's going to be very obnoxious to play against you. And we are going to see this as well when we touch on the Pyke runes. Nautilus and Alistar, pretty similar as the Rell and Leona one. We start with Aftershock and Inspiration. The only difference is, and this is why it's a minor change, is that I would go for this. It's a bit, it's not that great, right? Resolve into Domination with Alistar and Nautilus, I don't see it that much. What I see, in the other hand, is something like this. I could see this happening. Chip shot maybe, and again, Grisly Mementos, or we could go Sixth Sense. We could choose Deep Ward again if we are on a winning matchup. This for me is fine, but there is a problem. The problem is that till level 6, Alistar is not that tanky, right? Because of the ultimate, but it's fine. You can pull it off against the weaker laners, but Nautilus is going to get one shot most of the times, right? Leona has the W to survive this type of situations, and Rell still has her passive, which makes her pretty tanky. Celestial Opposition can help in these situations, but well, now you know that you could go Glacial into Domination, not that much Resolve into Domination, but this is a setup of runes that you can run with Nautilus and Alistar. Rakan, in the other hand, is a champion that loves to use Resolve into Domination, right? Since forever, with also with Zombie Ward. Rest in peace, Zombie Ward. We are going to change now Zombie Ward for another rune, like Sixth Sense, Grisly Mementos, or Deep Ward. Deep Ward can be good, again, if you are on a decent matchup, or not a winning matchup, because it's difficult to win with Rakan your laning phase, but with a bot lane that you can just roam and your AD carry is going to be fine. Remember now with the minion changes and the tower changes, it's easier to roam and harder to get dope, so it's way easier to pull some good Deep Wards, right? So Rakan is a very nice champion to Deep Ward. Why? Because you have high mobility, so you can always W the wall to get out if you get caught. So Sixth Sense, great for early game if you're looking to maybe make some traps, some invades as well, but I would recommend Deep Ward again with Rakan, and it's just the standards Rakan runes, just changing Zombie Ward for Deep Ward. Now Senna, there's a lot of discussion every single time with Senna because she's a very versatile champion in rune page and builds as well. I would say like Black Cleaver now into Rapid Fire is the core item of Senna, but for runes, Grasp is a nice one. With Grasp you can go Presence of Mind and Alacrity secondary, like Precision, but you could also look for maybe some sorcery, right? Some Celerity, a bit of move speed right there, get the mana flow, but with Grasp and Black Cleaver build, I don't think like Senna is that mana hungry compared to the Enchanter build, so this should be totally fine. You could try to go Axiom Arcanist with Senna. This is the only change. You could change the Scorch or the Gathering Storm for the Axiom Arcanist, and also the same if you are going at the end of the day with what's called this setup of runes, right? Instead of going for Resolve secondary with Precision or any other rune setup, maybe you want to go Boots and Approach Velocity. right? You could also look for Action Arcanist here with Celerity, and if you look for and you like the Enchanter build with Senna, you can also go for Action Arcanist. The only issue and the problem that I have with this rune setup is that you are going to suffer with mana, but Presence of Mind is going to do some work right there. So maybe it can work. I would recommend you maybe try this one here, and you get the magical footwear really fast, so you can have a big fast power spike towards Black Cleaver. With Action Arcanist, try it. If you have mana problems, you should have mana problems till first base when you get your Enchanter, the Mirror, that is going to give you mana regen. If not, the other rune pages are fine. You just can incorporate Action Arcanist. I will forget about the Domination 3. It doesn't matter with Shen at all. You remember when I said Domination plus Inspiration is going to be super strong for Super right now, but not a lot of them can build it. Poppy is one of the champions that can build Domination and Inspiration, and it was done in Season 14 already. So you could go Aftershock build with Poppy if you're playing into Engage, but normally you go the Halo Blades heavy roaming style Poppy build and Poppy runes. So Hex Flash Cosmic Insight as secondary, very standard, and here's Sudden Impact. And now Relentless Hunter, you could go Treasure Hunter if you want. I like the move speed, in my opinion, like it's my own preference. And now here you could go Sixth Sense, you could go Grisly Mementos to also deny more vision from the enemy, especially with Cosmic Insight. You will have the sweeper in a very low cooldown, so in mid game, late game is going to be very annoying to play against you. Or you could also go for Deep Ward if you are in a stronger lane, and because you are going to roam so much with Poppy, you can leave everything warded in enemy jungle, and this is going to give you so much information. And these runes and Poppy is so strong with the rune changes. Renata, nothing much. Guardian, normal rune setup, and now Domination. Instead of Zombie Ward, you go Deep Ward. Deep Ward still is the strongest one. The other two I don't think benefit Renata at all. Pyke is one of the strongest supports right now. It's always been the strongest support in solo queue, in my opinion, together with, I don't know, maybe Lulu as an enchanter. But Halo Blades Pyke with Sudden Impact, you could also go Chip Shot. The only difference is when you play Chip Shot, when, for example, you want to play more with the hook in lane, and you don't want to throw that many E's in laning phase to play, so you start with hook, so you could also play with that. Chip Shot, for example, with Scorch and Celerity has been seen a lot. By the way, with Pyke, I want to mention that Action Arcanist doesn't improve the execute threshold, so it's not good at all. So this would be like a Pyke build in laning phase, like poke, not poke that much, but just Q auto attack with Halo Blades and just keep it, so play it slow, then you can play more aggressive, right? But normally you can choose between all of three. Grisly Mementos probably is going to be the best one, because you are with Umbral Glaive and this having Sweeper all the time up, you can deny so much vision. But I see a world where Deep Ward is also pretty good, because you are going to roam, you are very hard to catch, so you can drop Deep Vision like we said with Rakan and just get out really easily. And Sixth Sense is a fine rune. This one is going to be if you want to snowball really hard bot lane, or you want to snowball really hard a lane and you want to make sure that it's not warden or go around wards, then Sixth Sense is also really nice. So Pyke can use the 3 new wards pretty good. The rest of the secondary you can choose between, like Inspiration sometimes is also good with the Boots and the Cosmic. Insight Resolve is like the most normal one. Demolish is going to be an important one, but I'm going to do a Pyke guide this season, probably is one of my next champions, so I'm going to go more specific on that. Just make sure that you understand how to use these 3, and then you are golden with Pyke. Morgana runes, not much. I would say the same as Renata, right? If you go Guardian Morgana, you could also go Comet Morgana, but I don't think Action Arcanist is good. Just Deep Ward, Relentless Hunter, more Enchanter, Morgana playstyle. You have a very nicely Morgana guide in my channel as well. I like Morgana a lot. It's a sad, it's sad that she's not that popular, or she's not that strong at the moment, right? But these are the rune setup for Morgana. You can also decide to go for sorcery, but that's for like, that's pretty standard already. But the sorcery and domination, maybe you could also do this. Probably it's just better for you to go for this rune setup instead, and maybe more AP if you want to go for the AP Morgana route. Bard. I need to play more Bard. Well, Bard is the same thing. I mean, you can go for Fleet and then other secondary rune, but if you are going for Guardian and Domination, then it's the same concept as Renata and Morgana, but you can just choose Deep Ward, Grisly Mementos, Sixth Sense. But in my opinion, Deep Ward looks very good. Bard, again, you can escape really easy with the portal, you can get Deep Vision, you roam a lot. So make sure that you get Deep Ward, abuse Deep Ward, get some attack speed on your runes as well. And I think that's it. There's not much more to say about Bard. Bard is Bard. It will always be great. So yeah, abuse Deep Ward rune, guys. That's what I can say. Let's talk about the mages. So Lux, Xerath, Zyra, Vel'Koz, and Brand. The 5 at the same time, and I did add Lux on the title, because for me she's really strong. I checked the data and she looks like really bad right now, but I don't think so, and probably people are playing wrong like usual. So you want to go Arcane Comet and Sorcery first. Now there's a debate here about going Mana Flow Band, Nimbus Cloak, or Axiom Arcanist. I like to go Nimbus Cloak with Lux in Season 14. So Axiom Arcanist is a fine rune. The damage is not insane. It's like 600, 700 in a game, which I don't think is the best. And you don't really need the ultimate CD reduction because it's not such a big deal with these champions. So I would choose Mana Flow if your champion lacks the mana. Or if not, Nimbus Cloak, which is going to give you more survivability with the heal. I understand that, for example, with Zyra and Brand, you want to go for Ignite, but maybe Vel'Koz, Xerath, and Lux want to go for heal, so Nimbus Cloak is great, all right? So secondary, we have Domination, but let's talk about, for example, first Precision, right? Precision is going to be always Knight if we go Presence of Mind and ability like Legend Haste. And we could also go Haste and Cut Down. This is extra damage and more damage build. So this is like, probably this is the heaviest damage build you can build on, or you can get on runes with your mages. But also you could choose again Magical Footwear and Cosmic. What this is going to give you is the power spike, the big power spike. One item with 3 boots. And then you get your super item, and then because you get the Blessing of Noxus, then you got 3 item power spike in around 15 minutes, and it's very big power spike. And I want to make a video about it because it's actually broken, and I've been playing it in my live stream, so you can check that out as well. But let's focus on the runes for now. So you could go those Precision and Inspiration, but the big change is here. If you are playing these champions and you are paired with a stronger AD carry, and I've said this before, you want to go for Chip Shot or Relentless Hunter, both are fine. And then again, Deep Ward. You want to go for Deep Ward. Why? Because you can keep pushing, keep pressuring forever, for at least for 1 minute 30 to 5 minutes. You can keep pressuring with only your ward. Only your warding trinket, you can keep pressuring. I'm not taking into consideration your AD carry also warding. If your AD carry wards as well, you can keep vision in bot lane for 8 minutes long straight. So you can get a lot of things done. Probably you can take the 2 to 3 first platings, and that's very important because you want the first tower for the Fist of Strengths, these new 3 boots. So Deep Ward is going to be important if you are on a winning matchup. If you are not on a winning matchup, it's a bit weird because you are playing a mage. So normally you are going to be perma pushing. So this is why it's super strong in my opinion. And it's not like a minor change, it's a very big change for mages. So this will be my favorite rune setup for now for this type of mages. Pantheon runes, and you guys got a very nice and long guide in my channel about the Pantheon support. So I know a lot of people say PTA Pantheon is good in support and there's the best runes, but I already explained in that video that Conqueror is much superior, and also Presence of Mind is something that you probably want if you want to poke with Qs, but I'm trying with Triumph and I like it a lot. Legend Haste is fine, you could go the attack speed if you want as well. Now from these ones you could go the Last Stand, but Coup de Grace is the best in my opinion. So what are we going as secondary? We could go for Haste Flash and Cosmic, which is fine, but Domination, Relentless Hunter, and again, like Pyke, Pantheon, again, a strong champion right now. You could choose to go Chip Shot and don't bother, but in my opinion, Sixth Sense, Grisly Mementos, again, Deep Ward all 3 are good. If you are on a winning matchup, then probably Deep Ward is going to look very nice, very strong. If you want to cheese and be like very oppressive early on. 6 cents and also roaming is also very nice, but I tried 6 cents today. I had a really good game with Pantheon, but I felt like mid-game, late-game, it was very, very weak. And I also went Bruiser Pantheon, so I prefer probably Grizzly Mementos is going to be pretty obnoxious to play against, and Deep Ward are very good place for Pantheon in the rune. So any of the three are good. Also, you could go Chip Shot and don't bother with the runes, but it's just situational. Then you could also go secondary sorcery and just go for Celerity Scorch, a bit more poke in laning phase and a bit more pressure. But in my opinion, I would like something like this. I'm going to try it more and see how it goes, but this is for Pantheon. For Camille, really fast. Halo Blade, sudden impact, 6 cents. Treasure Hunter, you want that Treasure Hunter because it's very expensive actually. That's why Magical Footwear, I like it a lot. Jack of all trades, you could go Jack of all trades, or also you could go Cosmic Insight, which is not bad if you pair it with Deep Ward or you pair it with Grizzly Mementos for that Trinket Haste. Also, very common is to have a bit more like survivability, or Shield Bash with Bomb Plating with Camille also works. Now, Elise support is one of the strongest supports at the moment. It's tier S, S+, no, but in solo queue is broken, actually. So you could go Electrocute or Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest is going to be more common. I like Electrocute because it's, how to say it, if it's a low impact game, it's going to always be like consistent, right? Dark Harvest is more snowball, but I would recommend now in solo queue it's a bit crazy to go Dark Harvest. Sudden impact, Grizzly Mementos, it works really good. Also, you could go for 6 cents, but I will play for more Deny. Right, Deny for against the enemy team. Also start Sweeper. It's going to be a lot of pressure. Treasure Hunter in solo queue is great, but I will also recommend Relentless Hunter if you are playing above, like around Diamond Master MMR. I would say Relentless Hunter works better. Also, if you want to roam a lot more, but you should be roaming anyways. And then you want to go for Triumph and more damage. But I've seen like this setup with the ability Haste, and again, very important to get attack speed because you want to get rid of those wards really fast with your sweeper usage. Adaptive Force and Flat Health as a support is a must. LeBlanc and Zoe runes together. Again, Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Grizzly Mementos I think is the best one because you want to go Sweeper. 6 cents you could go if you want, again, to cheese a bit more early game, but the cooldown is very long, especially for ranged champions. Then Relentless Hunter or Treasure Hunter, the same thing. I think Relentless Hunter is a bit better for that mobility for both of them. This is a really good secondary rune setup for LeBlanc. If you want to play Zoe, which is not such a troll champion, it's actually played a lot in high elo in Korea as a support, is to go Scorch and Nimbus Cloak, especially with the passive of the W, with all the summoner spells that Zoe is picking up. Any runes, I think Guardian is the best, and then Domination, Grizzly Mementos and Relentless Hunters to just roam a lot. More defensive, at the end of the day you are a flash ultimate bot. You could also look to play with Boots and Cosmic, but then you are dropping the entire point of the new runes, right? But I think these are the best runes for Annie. It's like a bit niche. What is Jax doing here? I'm asking myself the same question. I played a couple of Jax games, but I think he's pretty decent. Halo Blades and Impact. Again, you can choose one of these three. I think Jax is fine into certain matchups. Relentless Hunters or Treasure Hunter. I think Treasure Hunter is better because it's pretty expensive. Then Magical Boots or Cosmic Insight with Cosmic Insight as inspiration. You could also go Resolve, and you could also go Precision with Triumph and a bit more damage. It's just up to you what you want to play with Jax. You can try it in certain matchups into a lot of auto attack heavy champions, but it's a bit for fun support. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it will be meta. You could even look for an Aftershock build, but I would recommend to play other champions like Pantheon or Camille before I'm playing Jax. One of my favorite champions, Shen. Aftershock for sure. I like to start with E, be very tanky, keep auto-attacking with my Q. Shield Bash is very nice as well, works with the passive. Bomb Plating, Overgrowth, Resolve can also maybe be fine with the ultimate as well. Then I don't think Sorcery is that great. I don't think your ultimate increased shield is that relevant, especially because the CD reduction is not better than getting Ultimate Hunter, which you want to get with Shen because you go Domination second, and Chip Shot is better to bully in lane, but maybe you find your that you are playing like with a mage, or you are playing with a weaker AD carry that is fine wave clearing, and you want to go Grizzly Memento, so you can go Deep Ward. Or even if you want to have high impact in early game because you want to roam towards a top laner or a mid laner that is going to carry later on, then Sixth Sense can do the job and you can find good angles to gank, and just be sure that you are not on a ward and you can snowball their lanes. Amumu, a great support, a bit nerfed. It was popular back in the day but with the Q changes, but it's not the most popular now, but it's still a fine support to play. Aftershock build with Domination secondary is just great as well. And also you could look for, Inspiration, Glass Eloquent with Hess Flash for a bit more playmaking potential, and Cosmic Insight. So you could get Grizzly Mementos a lot. And actually this is a very interesting rune setup for Amumu, giving you a lot of Trinket Haste. Jarvan is here, but I don't feel like Jarvan benefits that much from the runes. It's just like a minor change. You could go like Aeri. You want to go Aeri as a support, most likely with Jarvan. You want to poke with Mana Flow, your E, and Scorch. But you could go Domination secondary, maybe Chip Shot. One of these runes is like just a minor change, as I said in the previous champions. Just make a decision if you want to go Sixth Sense and look for more early action because your bot lane is a bit FK, then you go for that, and for a Relentless Hunter. If not, you can just go Grizzly Mementos as well, but probably you want or Resolve or like Inspiration. Again, a niche support, but well, we mentioned it a bit. It's just a minor change for one of these runes, just situational. Let's talk about Vi. Vi is one of my favorite champions to play as off-meta champions. So a bit like Shen, Aftershock is going to give you, when you hit the Q in lane, you are going to follow up with your passive damage, and it's going to be quite a lot of damage for a support. So it's a very nice champion to pick up if you have not. I like to play it against Zeri and Smolder because your ultimate is going to lock them down and you can get easy kills, and also like they are not that oppressive in lane, which gives me also like roaming potential. Alright, Sudden Impact is great, but we could change Sudden Impact or Relentless Hunter for again the same thing, right? We could go Sixth Sense, Grizzly Mementos, or Deep Ward. The good thing about Vi is that you could play Halo Blades. Vi is going to give you one of these three. Probably, let's say we play Sixth Sense to gank a bit more, get the Relentless Hunter for the move speed, and then we can go for Hex Flash and Cosmic Insight. This is going to give us a lot of Trinket Haste, together with Grizzly Mementos if we want to choose for that. And yeah, I think that's great. Ashe runes, pretty standard like before. Now, instead of Zombie Ward, let's go for Deep Ward. You can keep pressuring, keep pressuring, keep pressuring. They did change Ashe. I want to try it out with Halo Blades. Ultimate Hunter is going to be great, but the W change, if you want to go poke Ashe with Arcane Comment, you want the Mana Flow to spam the ability. I don't think Ashe is played that great right now with this because you are pretty weak, right? You could still go for Ultimate Hunter and Deep Ward. Maybe you could try this and go double adaptive as well. You can try it, feel free. This was the old lethality, just spam W and just poke, and maybe it can work in certain matchups, but I like more the one before with Halo Blades, and just change Zombie Ward for Deep Ward, and you can keep pressuring. But I need to try it out with the changes, but probably it still works fine. Two of my favorite supports, off-meta supports, Neeko. I mean, I think Neeko should be a support. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think the same. But Neeko and Rumble are pretty strong. I've tried both of them already, and this is the best rune setup. There are no changes in the runes, like new runes, but we can talk about it. Why I like Arcane Comet and Nimbus Cloak, Celerity and Scorch. You want to be fast with these champions, especially with Rumble W. The Neeko is all about move speed, so Nimbus Cloak and Celerity work. I've tried the Rumble with Axiom Arcanist, but I think the damage is very low, so Nimbus Cloak is just better. Now, for secondary, Magical Footwear and Cosmic is again the same. You want to rush first item Power Spike, and with that first item Power Spike, you can do a lot, especially when you get the Blessing of Noxus and the tier 3 boots. It's going to be a lot of damage because you are going to upgrade the Magic Pen boots for Rumble and the CDR boots for Neeko, so you have more playmaking potential. Now, if you want to go for Domination, then you can choose to go for Ultimate Hunter for both of them, or Relentless Hunter as well. That's fine. Neeko will go Relentless and Rumble will go Ultimate. And after that, you can choose for Chip Shot for extra lane domination, or again Deep Ward is very good for Neeko because you are going to push. So Deep Ward in a matchup that you are going to bully is also going to be really nice. If not, Grizzly Mementos, again, you are going to deny a lot of vision and keep snowballing the game. And I will not recommend 6 Sense, so if you want to go domination, it will look something like this. Taliyah support runes could look something like this in lower elos, where you are going to be very obnoxious and keep pushing and moving around the map. Maybe you want to change Treasure Hunter with Relentless Hunter, but in lower elo, I will keep Treasure Hunter. Deep Ward is going to help you a lot to gain vision. You could also choose Grizzly Mementos and get rid of that. But you can also go for the Arcane Comet one. Action Arcanist doesn't do anything, right? Go Celerity and Water Walking if you want to roam more. But you can also choose to go for Scorch, and then you can choose Domination. No problem. Relentless Hunter, the same thing. Treasure Hunter. Or you could go one of these as well. But maybe you want to just go for this secondary tree. But also precision is pretty nice this way. I think this one is better. You can go this one is better. And Kennen support is actually pretty interesting because you can go Electrocute Domination first. You can also go Comet or Aeri. But Electrocute looks nice. Then you can choose Chip Shot. This one as well. Taste of Blood if enemy bot lane has some... sustain. And 6 Sense is a great rune for Kennen because you can look for flanks in teamfights and especially around objective, and you understand that you are not spotted and you can do a very good flash engage with your ultimate. And remember guys, first blood, first tower and 3 objectives are very important to get for your T3 boats upgrade. So champions that can fight around objectives are always very good, and Ultimate Hunter also for Kennen, like the cooldown of the ultimate is super important to have. And for secondaries, Nimbus Cloak Celerity is going to help you just to be this explosive champion. Now, we can also choose to go for a bit more like Aeri against maybe melee champions or Arcane Comet with the Nimbus Cloak, Celerity and Scorch. And then from here, we can also choose for Boots and Cosmic, which is going to help us to build maybe CDR Boots or Magic Pen Boots, depends if you guys want to spam your Flash Ultimate, or you can always go for Domination as we saw before, so with Ultimate Hunter, and from here we just go Grizzly Mementos or what we said 6 Sense for the flanking position. I've not played a lot of Heimerdinger support because I was coaching, I was not a player when it was meta last year. But Arcane Comet with Domination Heimerdinger must be really good with Deep Ward. This is the standard rune page, right? With Precision Secondary. But with Deep Ward and probably Chip Shot with or Relentless Hunter or Ultimate Hunter or even Treasure Hunter, like something like this could be really strong because you are going to perma push and the only thing you want to do is play for the tower, no? Get the enemy tower as fast as possible, but you can get always a deep ward on, like a ward on enemy tribush, and you can keep pushing. So Heimerdinger is a very interesting support because if you get a strong AD carry next to you and against a melee support, you could be taking enemy tower in 6 minutes. And we have to, I will try this champion. I will try the support for sure with this rune setup and see how it goes. So just a minor change with Swain. Normally Swain, I did like Swain before, super a lot, but now I don't like him that much. I think it's not that great. But well, these are normal standard runes with Swain because at the end of the day, Conqueror is not that bad. But I've seen a lot of Glacial, the Magical Boots, you get Cookies and then Cosmic, and from here you can go for the new rune, and that's why it's a minor change. Action Arcanist, which is going to help you with the damage and the healing, so it should be fine, it should be good, but maybe it's something that is broken. I will try it out in the future, but yeah, this can be a good rune page for Swain support. Rune page for Sylas, Electrocute, pretty standard. Then you Sudden Impact, Grizzly Mementos, the same thing for these runes. Like you can go Deep Ward as well or 6 Sense if you think that you want to look for some more early action in mid lane or top lane early on. Grizzly Mementos actually looks pretty good, but Deep Ward is pretty broken at the moment. So I would recommend going Deep Ward with Treasure Hunter because you want those AP items. That's why Magical Footwear, it's a good option. And on Inspiration, you could also go Cosmic plus Biscuits and Double Adaptive on runes. Last but not least, Ekko, the boy savior, a support champion that I like to play, off meta of course. Halo Blade, Sudden Impact, Grizzly Mementos for sure. I think Deep Ward is not as useful. Maybe you could look for Sixth Sense and Cheese with the stronger AD carry. Treasure Hunter could also be Relentless Hunter. And then as secondary, you go Sorcery with Celerity and Scorch. So you minor change is not that bad. It can be really good champion flanking, right? And moving around the map. You want to push with that Q, in the wave. Maybe in the future I do an Ekko guide. So yeah, this is a good Ekko support rune page. Getting first blood in season 15 is so important. I made an easy guide to follow as a support player on how to get first bloods, and also some top 10 mistakes that I see every support do. So I leave you here the videos and also in the description so you guys can check it out and start the new season climbing and reaching your goals. Feel free to ask me anything in the comments. Until next time, bye bye.